and welcome to today's coaching session. Sound check. How's it going? You should be able to hear me, right? Should be able to hear me, and then here's picture. Alright, so welcome. Hope you're doing well. And let's get started. Oof, let me turn that down. Alright. Hey Michael. Hi everyone. Okay, so let's get started. We're gonna do what we always do every week, which is first thing we'll do is review the market. Second thing we'll do is review the open positions, review the calls that were made today, and what else will we do? We'll review tomorrow's watch list, so you'll see what I'm looking to do for tomorrow. And I'll take questions. We'll talk about the earnings plays, maybe whatever you guys want. It's your coaching. I'm happy to do whatever you want. So okay, but first I'll do my thing, and then I'll open it up for you to ask questions and get whatever symbols you want me to review. Get those reviewed. So the market has a pullback here on the daily chart of the Qs, and as you can see, we're coming into that rising 20. So it looks nice, but I expect it to fail initially, at least, because of the way the hourly chart looks. This was a sharp pullback, so we had a pop and then a quick drop. We don't usually like to have such a sharp, quick sell-off. We like to have more of a 45-degree, slow, controlled move, like so. So that's what we want. That's not what we want. And so this one is a pretty quick reversal, and I don't like it that much. And therefore, I'm thinking if we pop tomorrow, we would come right back down either the same day, which means tomorrow, or the day after, when we have FOMC, rate decision. So this buy setup, be very wary of it. Microsoft has the same exact pattern. Deep pullback, a quick pop, and then a quick drop. Be very wary of it. Nvidia, I think, has a similar pattern. So I am not biting. I'm not taking any plays based on the market alone. So I'm not taking any market plays. I'm not going to do Apple, not going to do Microsoft, not going to do Nvidia, I'm not going to do anything that's market related. Everything that I'm going to do, if I do anything at all, if I play anything long at all, it will be something that's on its own page. Something that doesn't look anything like the market. Here's something that doesn't look like the market. Okay? Rivian, does this look like the market at all? No, it doesn't. Oil stocks, USO, that has nothing to do with the market. So real estate, I don't know, gold, whatever else that is not going to be affected by the market so much. So that's my take on the market. I could be reading it wrong also. That's easy to happen, because we do have a buy set up, but it might just work. What can I say? But I'm not expecting it honestly to work, at least not on the first try, not on the first move up. In terms of today's calls, so here is what the calls that I made today. Let me just open this up. Well, I have so many things opened, so let me just close out of some of the things some of the windows that I have open here before my whole system crashes. Okay, so I had quite a number of calls for today, and a bunch triggered, but the CWEB and the yen, where's the yen? Those are the leveraged ETFs for China. The yen is the leveraged ETF for the FXI. The CWEB is the leveraged ETF for the KWEB, I think, which is the China internet companies. Both took out the stop before triggering, so that makes them invalid. But the CWEB, barely took out the stop by 5 cents. The stop was supposed to be at 38.09. It traded at 38.14. It traded down to 38.09. So hopefully you got it. The idea behind it, why I called the play on the CWEB, is you can see, look, trading, there's the science behind it, the methodology, but there's also the art. So you have to be able to recognize the picture, right? maybe if you're really good as a kid at completing these dot to dot books, and then you connect the dots, and then all of a sudden you have a lion or a picture of a princess or an elephant or whatever, right? If you are good at it as a kid, I think this is the same idea, same method, so to speak, a little bit more complex, a little bit more complicated, but same thing. So notice how this was in a long-term downtrend ever since January. We had a nice strong move and then topped out, and in the last couple months or so, the 20 MA flattened out. That's the blue line, flattened out because the stock, I mean the CWeb is not a stock but ETF, made a strong move that completely shattered the downtrend. And then the next pullback put in a higher low. This low was higher than the previous low. And then it based a little bit. I don't want to read too much into it. I don't want to call this a higher low or whatever. It based a little bit and then had another pop. And then it pulled back. And notice all of a sudden, for the first time, it's being held, halted, right? Captured, whatever, use any words you want, by that 20 MA on the daily chart. So that's what I saw happening basically. The 20 is starting to curl and point up. And so I liked it long. Now again, the fact that it took out the stop by a little bit, I think should not have altered the strategy, should not have had any severe impact on the setup at all, or changed the strategy. The strategy remained the same. Now, so this one you should have gotten. This one, if you canceled the play because it took out the stop by like 50 cents, that's fine. I mean, normally we cancel the plays if the stop is taken out. So if you did so, it is what it is. And if you got it, then good job, because they're looking good, and this was a possible long-term entry on China, basically on the yen and the CWeb. And then this is China. I talked about the BABA verbally in the room, but I couldn't call it again because we already have two positions in it. BABA is probably the single biggest position that I have by market cap in my swing account. So that's the issue. So I had a bunch of China stocks called officially and in the ideas section, but those were the official plays. CWeb got you, which triggered same exact setup. You have a downtrend, long-term downtrend, that finally breaks, and then the pullback puts in a higher low, right? And now we have the beginning of an uptrend. Was this a good buy thing to buy? No, it didn't have a good setup, but now we have a buy setup right here off the newly rising 20 MA. So that's the setup. That's a transitionary setup, transitionary buy setup on the daily chart. LNC is different. LNC is a base breakout. Okay. One thing I don't like about the LNC is that this is not exactly a base. Here's a base. You get a pop, you get a sideways base. This is more of a grind up. But what I did like about it is how tight of an uptrend it is. So I'm treating it, because I'm not in it, and I don't see a good entry on it. So I figured, over the red bar, this red bar, and that red bar. It's like a double top. The break of a bearish pattern, which the double top is, the break of a bearish pattern becomes bullish, right? So the double top and then above it long and then stop. I'm giving it to here. You can actually use red bar's low as the stop, Friday's low, but you don't want to be too aggressive either. And we have a lot of open positions. If you have the same open positions that I called over the last few weeks, we have a lot of open positions. So LNC broke out. NCLH did not trigger. I had a call on it over the base right here. It's an hourly base breakout, daily pullback. Did not trigger. It looks okay for tomorrow. What I don't like about it is now, it dropped back below the 20 on the hourly chart. That's not very good. I don't use the 8 MA. I just use the 20 and the 200 when it comes to swing trading. I never use the 8. That's for day trading. So here you go. So I don't use the 20, the 8. So I just removed it. So NCLH cancel for tomorrow. You don't have to. It actually looks okay if it can pop over the base. I think that would be okay. Let me look at it on multiple time frames on my other platform. I think it'll be okay if you want to keep the play, but let's for now say cancel. So this one triggered, this one triggered, that one triggered. NCLH cancel the order for now, okay? So here it is, as I'm speaking to you right now, NCLH, and right click, cancel the SPY setup. I just canceled it. For tomorrow, we'll make it invalid. PCG, I just want to give you a heads up. If you have a limited amount of money in your account and you don't want to tie it up with something that doesn't move very much, then do not play the PCG. It's a utility stock that takes a long time to get moving most of the time. But I absolutely love the PCG monthly chart. Check it out. That is a nice chart. That's a really nice chart to here. At least to here. It could be to there. But let's just say to here for now. Which is 2350, 25 actually. So yeah, exactly, Michael. Looks like a transition A on the monthly chart. But I'm just saying, you know, some people have limited amount of money that they can use, and this is one of the slower moving stocks. So I wouldn't play it if that's the case for you. PDD triggered, another China stock. Got it, Jeff. Thank you. Another China stock with the same strategy, the same idea. Okay, looks good on every time frame. The monthly, you know, buy setup on the monthly, weekly looks okay too, and daily triggered. The problem with the China stocks, biggest problem for me at least this whole year, has been, this is not the first time that I get the yen or the CWeb. Believe me, I got them here. I got them probably there. They pop and you think, okay, I got it, this is it, and then it ends up coming right back down. So don't get too excited if you actually did get the China stocks and they went up a lot. They went up by over 15k, just the few that I called today. No, 13,500 because they came in after the close. So to 13,500 about. And don't get too excited because I've seen that rodeo before. I mean, they pop and you think, got it, this is it, and they come crashing down. So I'm not too excited, but they did a bunch of them triggered. Rivian is way up, but notice Rivian is not coming in, is not pulling back at all. So what I'm suggesting, I like to do is play it over the base, stop under to give it the room, give it, you know, a big stop basically. I like tight stops, but in this case it'd be a big stop and it would be a 1 2 3 on the weekly chart. So long, and then target about 30 something, maybe even $40 on the Rivian. Yen we talked about. FMC, FMC gapped down and then went back up. Looks good, but I didn't like how strong it closed. So this one ended up about break even. It hasn't, you know, triggered because it gapped below the entry, ran back up to it. So this one triggered already. LESL did not trigger and now looks higher as a gap fade. But I already did the math. If we were to play it over 580, which was going to be the stop, if it had triggered short, stop right here and target right there, that's only like 1 1/4 to 1. 1 1/4 hours to 1 hour risk. That's not enough. Do I really expect it to get up there? I don't. Therefore, LESL is not a good long and is not a good short, and cancel the LESL, and I'm doing it with you right now. LESL, sell short, boom, canceled. I canceled the LESL. Okay, VKTX called it as a short, as a breakdown. It triggered. Let's hope it works because it doesn't have a lot of R to R. Okay, so that triggered. And BABA also. BABA I didn't call. I didn't officially call. Mentioned it in the room. We already have a big position in it because I called it twice. So you know, so that hopefully works. So those are the two open call orders from today, and they both will be valid for tomorrow. And then we said cancel the NCLH. It still looks okay, and cancel the LESL. NEO, I don't have. I talked about it in the morning. I wish I got it, but I didn't get it. And Neo looks wonderful, looks amazing. Okay, on the Neo. Let's see. Okay, so far so good. So those were the calls for today. A lot of calls, but 4 of them didn't trigger. I know 4. Yeah, 4. And 2 of them valid for tomorrow. 2 of them canceled. Any questions about the calls? Just the calls that were made today. Are there any questions? If not, we can move on to the next segment, which is on the open positions. Carvana, okay, let's see, CVNA. I don't have any thoughts on it. It had a climactic move up, and I think it's time to let it go for now. Had a big move up, but can it continue higher because it dropped from $400? Yes, it can, but it's not the time to get it. The time to get it was on the initial breakout, which I didn't like that much. I thought the base was sloppy, but that was the time to get it. Maybe even over here, but not up here, in my opinion. Is it a short? It's not a short either. So that's why I said, for me, it's let it be. No position, no interest in it at all. Okay, how many pennies do you give below the pivot for swings versus single penny for day trades? It depends. For swing trades, I'm sorry. So is this for the stop or for the entry? Yeah, I think that's for the stop probably. Yeah, for the stop. It depends. I mean, look, something that's like an ADR or that I know is spready or tends to gap a little bit, I might give it 25 cents. So it just depends. And sometimes, like ATUS, I don't like it that much. How much am I going to give it? 2 cents. Mostly, a couple cents, but if it's high priced, spready, jumpy, ADR, gappy stock, then I might give it, up to maybe even 25 cents, okay? All right. Let me wait on the questions a little bit. What's the best way to get into climactics and how to incorporate them with multiple time frame alignment? Sorry, Michael, that's way too outside the context of today's coaching. Ask me if you'd like tomorrow in the other coaching session. So then I can go over it in a little more with a bit of detail. But today that would be like way too far afield to cover. It's a completely different strategy. Okay? All right. Next thing that I'd like to do is review the open positions, okay? And the open positions, there's a lot of them, I know, but hopefully you're able to keep up or at least, take some of them. Okay, so here we go. A lot, I know. Apple from like 160 or 161 or so, 161. Oops, I meant to open up the daily chart. So Apple reached a target, and I also trailed half before earnings. I don't know where, but the Apple was called long over the base breakout. It was off the weekly, so this was up here. Oh no, I think it was over here. Honestly, either here or there, but it was 160. Let's take a look. No, 157. Yeah, so it's over this space. Okay. So as you can see, it's been a really nice play, but I don't have much in it anymore because there were 2 exits on it, on Apple. LRCX was called long on this gorgeous base breakout. Look at this, gorgeous. Took half, and then now in the back half, looking for $700 to target to on the LRCX. So in the money nicely from this day. Took half, looking for about $700 on the back half. Lily, this was called as a breakout, and then it popped and then dropped, but I gave it the room and it went right back up. So Lily so far, is good. We'll add. No, we won't add to it, but the stop is break even. It's actually better than break even, under 434. Okay, on Lily. So the stop is better than break even. Costco got to target 1, which was 560, and I think that was a weekly resistance. Yes, this pivot. So Costco is beautiful. Got to target 2. I'm looking at $600 as target 2 on the Costco. Costco is called twice, and so there's two different plays on it, but basically, you know, the same target. 560 for target one, $600 for target two. So okay, so those are all nice plays so far. BA has not been a very nice play, because BA was also called twice, 220, and the other order on it was over 214. So the first entry was over 220, and that's, we had to live through all of this. The second entry was over this bar, and now it's back up in the money on the second entry on the BA. And BA is looking great. You could actually, BA, that's not a bad entry to play it if you're not in it already. So long, stop right here. Okay? Or can also give it to 208 on the BA as the stop. I'm told that BA reports in a couple days, but I like it. I'm intending to hold it through earnings. I intend to hold it through earnings. FTI was called as a breakout back here, and as soon as we got it, it came back in. But the stop was down here, held up, and boom, doing pretty well. So FTI target is, I don't know what the target is. Let's take a look at the weekly and the monthly. So here's the FTI weekly. Monthly really has room to like almost $28 or so. If it gets to 21.50, I wouldn't mind taking half, and then maybe 28 or so for target two on the FTI. Beautiful, in the money. Zillow is doing okay. We had to live through this pullback. Breakout, it was called as a breakout. It popped, came in hard. I waited for the pivot, and then it popped. And then why did I call the Zillow long? Because I love the monthly chart on Zillow. See the monthly? That looks really nice. Dash was called twice also as a breakout. No, I don't know where the first entry was, maybe here, and then the second entry was on the base breakout. So DoorDash, and we took half on Wednesday or Thursday of last week as it broke under these last two doji bars, got extended. I was worried it would come in, had a lot of shares in it. So out half, but why did I call the Dash? What's the strategy behind it? There it is. It's no, that's the monthly. Weekly. I meant to show you the weekly transition A. Notice how the DoorDash weekly and the PCG weekly, PCG monthly, they look alike. They look exactly alike, but DoorDash moves. PCG doesn't move very much. Okay? Zillow similar, but not as good. Zillow similar also. So I do the same strategies, just different names, different symbols. So DoorDash looking good. FTNT is up in the money. I mean, is nicely in the money. The FTNT, we took half at 78.23, and the entry on it was let me just check. It was 72.36. So it's deep in the money on the FTNT. We're holding just the back half. SWK, I don't know what to do about it. It's very nice in the money. First entry right here, second entry right here, and now it's pulling in. So now I'm gonna wait for a third setup, you know, so because I don't see a way to exit, basically. I don't see a good exit on it. So long right here, stop right there, and now I'm waiting for another buy setup to maybe add to it or raise the stop at least on the SWK. And SWK, SWK is eating up a good amount of buying power. Is using up a lot of buying power. DoorDash we talked about, just two different symbols. So every single play that I went over so far is in the money. Some are really deep in the money. Here's one that's about to stop out. SYK, and I did call it twice too, on the initial breakout and then on the buy setup. It looked good, didn't follow through, came in, and I thought this buy setup looks perfect. I called it. It went up for a couple days and now back down. The stop on it is 289.99. So notice, Terry, you asked me how much I give it. The stop, I believe, on the SYK is 289.99. So in this case, I'm giving it 38 cents. 38 cents. But feel free to also just kill it under today's low tomorrow. But I'm giving it 38 cents and I won't change it. But that doesn't look good. So SYK, unfortunately, I'm gonna get stopped out on. The flex, I don't have. I don't have the flex because it gapped over the entry when I called it. I called it long right here. It gapped just a little bit over the entry, so I'm tracking it, but I did not get a fill on the flex, unfortunately. But this is nice. If you want to see a nice chart, look at the monthly chart of flex. Check it out. Zoom out a little bit, like so. That's going back to 1999. But look at the flex. Look at the breakout. Amazing, isn't it? Looking amazing. Looks higher to $45, pretty much. So it looks amazing on the larger time frames. But unfortunately, I got skipped on the flex entry. Momo is a China stock. I noticed that when the China stocks were pulling in, the Momo wasn't. So that's why I called the Momo long. And it's been good. It's good. It's doing pretty well. We'll see. The target on Momo is the weekly 200 MA, which is about $14. Let's take a look at the monthly transition A also on Momo. BA, we talked about it. It looks great for tomorrow actually on the BA. If you want over 216 long, stop either under 211.40 or under 208. FHN unfortunately is one of those banks that is not moving very much. Really like it. I called it long here. It's in the money, but you know, we'll see. Target on it is 14, I believe, on the FHN. So yeah, $14. So if it gets to 14, it'll be $3.5 or $3,500 for me. If it gets to 14 bucks. That's FHN. SWK, we called it twice. One of the best plays that I have open right now is SWK, but I'm also, you know, I don't like that I don't have a good trail for it other than, you know, down here. But twice, so this is two plays. Bax, called it long. Actually, Bax, I called it long over here. Long, stop. And then got shaken out here. And then re-entered over the base, which was 45 something. And then stop right here. Target, it almost, I mean, I would have loved to have gotten out of half here, but I didn't. So trailed out of half today. And then back half, I'm going to wait for a pivot. And then if it pivots, then I can raise the stop on the back half. But Bax is in the money and out half today. LI called at 36.40. So one of these bars, like, I don't know, here. I don't know what day exactly. But LI is in the money. I'm looking for $47 as target. I mean, initially 40 was my target. I changed it to about 45, 47. This is a Chinese EV stock, very much on fire. Baba, we talked about it already. There's two plays on it. CFLT, really liked it. It popped as a breakout on the weekly. And as you can see, it's a topping tail. Now, you might say, shouldn't you trail? Shouldn't we trail under the topping tail? Maybe. But it would be a bad exit right at the rising 20 at support on the daily chart. So that's why I'm just waiting for the CFLT to go back up. But called it as a breakout. It's down a little bit. The stop is way down here, so I don't have much size in it at all. But we'll see. SYK, we talked about it. Is about to stop. It's the only thing that's about to stop, actually. And this one is about to stop. Called it as a breakout last week. It may stop out if it takes out this bars though. Okay? So CELH and SYK, bad plays. The WDA is not great either, because this was called long right here, popped, and then as you can see, it's coming back in. It's slightly negative, I think. The WD, yeah, it is negative a little bit. The stop is right here. Don't have an alternate stop. I can't raise the stop on it. Pack B is not doing too great, but it's not too bad either because the stop is way down here. And then played it as a breakout off the weekly, turned into a topping tail. So I'm just waiting for it to pivot exactly like the CFLT. Yeah, but it's not a good one, Steve, because it's coming from a topping tail bar, big topping tail bar. But yes, so I'm waiting for the buy setup to trigger so I can raise my stop. You got it? So I'm waiting for the buy setup to trigger so I can raise my stop, but I'm not looking to add to it. Same with the Pack B. BABA twice, we talked about it already. FIS. FIS was called, I was actually stalking it back here as a base breakout. And it gapped, and then I saw the big green bar there, so I called it long on I think over this bar's high, 61.38. FIS. No, I'm sorry. It's over 60. It's over the base. Over 60.60 or so right here. So it triggered. It triggered on this day. So it's in the money, and I raised the stop to this bar's low, I believe. To this bar's low. Yeah, to 16.19. So I raised it to about break even on this on the FIS. We'll let it be. LIV called it as a buy setup. Still looking okay. Hasn't gone anywhere at all, but I did raise the stop to under the bar's low. It's a pullback to the daily 20. Now, if you say the SPY setup is not very good, I would agree with you because it came in really hard. But I like the hourly chart. I like the timing with some of the other airlines, so that's why I called it. That's the LUV. XPEV, I'm getting tired here just reviewing the plays. XPEV was called as a weekly 1, 2, 3 or something like this. Yes, I believe so. On the XPEV. So it's in the money by $1.50, I think. We'll see what ends up happening with it. The XPEV. ADCT, short. And I thought about adding to it. I believe it was in the newsletter today as an idea to add to it. ADCT. Yes, it was. It's in the ideas section. But it's a little bit thin. But it's a beautiful short. Base breakdown. Stop right here, and then target, don't know. It's making new all-time lows, so we'll just have to manage it. But that's a short. THRX is a gap fade, is a breakout over here. It gapped above the entry by a little bit, but then it came back into the entry. So if you didn't get it the first day, the second day would have been okay. Looking okay. I raised the stop to this bar's low. THRX is definitely in the money. Definitely in the money. Silk. So Silk was called a short as a breakdown under the space right here. It's off the hourly chart. Stop right there. But it hasn't gone anywhere on the Silk, and the Silk is slightly negative. Slightly negative. So it's not following through. It doesn't look too good. I went ahead and lowered the stop last night or on the weekend to over 21.08. So it will remain at 21.11, I think. I lowered it. FIS it was called twice, so that's why the initial play over here, and then the 1, 2, 3, 4 over these two bars. So we'll see. ATUS not a very good daily, but look at the weekly. It's pretty nice. Maybe a little too early, but I mean, if this works, it'd be lovely. So in a downtrend, finally basis breaks down, and the breakdown gets bought, basis, and then the breakout. So that's what I'm playing here, the initial breakout right here. But I don't know, maybe too soon because it's not going here. ATUS, it's break even-ish. It's a couple cents negative. It's actually just 2 cents negative. ATUS, BHC, that's also not going. The BHC, it's 10 cents negative. I'm raising the stop. It's called, was it called as a base breakout on the hourly chart? I'm raising the stop to 939 on the BHC. So under 943, let's say 939. And then the MNSO was called over 1820 on the breakout, basically, and popped. And then it was also in today's newsletter as an idea to add to it. So if you did over $19, it would have worked. The MNSO, this one is pretty nice. MNSO. So hope you got it. It's pretty nice, and I like it long term as well. It's another Chinese stock, so I have a lot of China names in my portfolio. I hope they work. I really hope they work. Any questions about any of that stuff? Let me know. Taking a sip of water here. Okay, we're all good. All right, let me show you what I like for tomorrow. Let's start with the bearish list first, because we just have a few symbols here that I'm considering. I'm actually not going to do it because it's just too bullish. But look at the weekly on the INMD. I mean, I think this could come in pretty weakly to come in a little bit, but doesn't meet the criteria for my climactic sell setup, so not gonna do it. As a breakdown on the hourly chart, and then a weekly climactic sell. Okay, hey Tom, welcome. KOD? No, KOD is not. It's definitely not a short. Uh, SYM? That's not a short. Ignore. Two symbols is all I have for tomorrow short, and it's the INMD and the TIXT. The TIXT is not tight enough of a base. Short under the base. Stop up here. But this is not a very tight base. A tight base means, you know, the stock drops and just bases at the lows. Doesn't go up like this and then comes back down. A tight base would be like the ADCT. This is what you call a tight base on the hourly chart. With a slight breakout failure right here. See the breakout? Breakout failure. So I do like it. I do like this one lower. I just don't know how much it's going to drop because it's at all-time, making new all-time lows. So two short ideas, and I don't like either of them for tomorrow. Here's the long ideas for tomorrow. We have a lot of open positions, so we don't want to be too aggressive. Besides, I don't think the list is very good. AVRO, which was in today's newsletter as an idea on the breakout. It looks good. Pretty thin, I believe. And I don't love the setup, but hourly breakout, weekly transition A, and monthly transition A as well. Transitioning on the weekly and monthly. So it's interesting long over $1.53 on the AVRO. Okay, AVRO goes on the favorites. BA, we talked about it. If you're not in it already, like it over 216 by 211. I don't think I'll be adding to it, but I just want to look into it on the BA. Okay, I'm just gonna look into it because BA is, that's 150 and that's 50, but it's 200. I have 250. I have 250 shares of BA, which is it's $54,000 in BA, so it you know, it's an expensive stock. Anyways, so BA looks nice. CCL, and notice the CCL had a bearish looking pullback, which is why it didn't go right back up. When it comes from a rounding top, that's bearish. So the first buy setup usually doesn't work, but the second buy setup will do it if it can trigger. It gives you a W pattern. So there's two entries on it. One would be over today's high, right here, long. The other entry would be over the neckline, basically, long. What about an option? What about options on the BA? I don't do options, but if you like it, if you like the options, go for it, because I really like BA long term as a long term play, not a short term play, long term play. So I think that the CCL is okay, long over 1801, stop under 1722. It's a bit aggressive, and I just canceled the NCLH from last night for today. I like the CCL a little bit more, actually. The Coco, I'm in it from, well, I can tell you where the entry was. I played it off the hourly chart. It is from 2378 on the Coco. So basically over here, long. Okay, stop right there. Why? Because it was down a lot and then broke down, accelerated on high volume, right, into the rising 20 on the weekly. So this is why I got it right at the bottom. I'd love to add, I only have 1,000 shares. I would love to add to it, but I'm not sure how. But it's a weekly buy setup on the Coco. I don't think hourly base breakout, I don't think is good enough for tomorrow to add to it, but I would love to figure out a way to add to it. Beautiful weekly. EA had a really nice breakout recently. Was sloppy, but it worked beautifully, and now has kind of a buy setup on the daily charts. Extended, too sloppy, I'm gonna pass. Elan, I was eyeing it as a long, but I never got the entry. It never gave me the entry that I like, and I ended up not doing it the other day as a breakout, and now has like a 1, 2, 3. So long over 1233, stop under 1192. Don't love it, so I'm gonna pass. EXCL, I'm surprised it turned into a topping tail bar, but it looks good long term also. Has an hourly base breakout, hourly pullback, so I'm just gonna watch it long. I'm not gonna make a call on it. This is not a tight base. I like it a lot higher because the way the weekly and the monthly look, I like both the weekly and the monthly, but this is not a tight base on the daily chart. So I'm just watching it for now. Google possible long, actually. It's a daily buy setup on Google. Don't love it, but possible long on Google. Google, I made an idiotic mistake by not pulling the trigger, not once but twice on Google. So the initial play was, well, on the breakout this day, that turned into a red bar. So that's when I should have gotten in. And I didn't do it. And then the next day when it took out the red bar, I still didn't do it. That was kind of idiotic on my part. So now it's giving me the chance to get in it, but it's not as easy or as good of an entry as it was back here. So that's the issue with Google, but I think Google is higher. HON, slow mover, too many bars up, but check out the monthly buy setup on HON. Check out the weekly, bullish also with room to up here. So it has plenty of room. And the daily looks higher too, but does it have an amazing entry? It does not, unfortunately. LESL, we talked about it. I called it short last night. It actually went higher, didn't trigger short, and now looks good on the hourly chart, except for the R to R. The reward to risk is low on it. To the prior high, that's pretty low, but looks higher. LUV is a daily buy setup, hourly breakout if anybody wants to try it. There's already an open position on the LUV, but can add to it over the base. I'm not too sure about adding to the LUV, but feel free. NCLH we talked about. PCG we talked about. Looks good. Rivian we talked about already. STZ, look at that hourly base. I mean, this is pretty nice. STZ might be all-time high, and it is all-time high. My partner is in the wine business, and I was during that run-up I was telling her all the time how STZ was like the nicest, most bullish chart that I knew of at the time, during that time. And I wasn't in it, but I was telling her about the STZ because she was telling me, they were buying up every winery they could get their hands on. They were buying up all these wineries and beer companies and breweries and who knows. And I mean, it was on fire. And then it got very, very sloppy. And then last week or so, I think it gapped up and it made new all-time high. So meaning it was it gapped up last week. It was an incredible move up. This is like as pretty as you will ever see. This move up from 212 to from 2012 to 2018 or so. It's just so pretty and just so bullish. And then it topped out, got very sloppy, and now it cleared all that sloppiness and is breaking out. So really like it. I'd love to be able to put my stop right here. Probably people that play the long game, that have a time frame of 5 years, 10 years, that's what you would do. Get it right here, stop right here, and look at it 5 years from now. I mean, long-term play. But as a shorter-term trader, the only pattern that I see is off that hourly chart, or you can say daily 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it looks nice, looks good, looks pretty tight. So long, it triggered today, it triggered on Friday already. But I don't want to pull I haven't been wanting to pull the trigger because I felt like I could easily get stopped out on it. Stop right here. So entry right here. I don't think I'll be doing it, but it's one of the better looking charts for tomorrow. V is a buy setup. Visa looks nice. So it looks okay. I mean, it recently also broke out. Nice monthly chart, I think. Nice monthly chart, but it's slow mover. Visa. Let's take a look at the MA and see what MA is doing. MA is even more bullish. So this is MA, MasterCard. Here's Visa. Which one is more bullish? Clearly, MA is more bullish. Broke out to new highs this year today, and maybe even all-time high on the MA. Take a look at it. It's all-time high. Looks like, yeah, all-time high. Wow, amazing. So Visa is the one with the setup. MA, we can wait for 1, 2, 3 on the daily chart. VIR, somebody asked me about it today, and I said I would wait for tomorrow. I would wait for the bar to close, and then maybe tomorrow as a 1, 2, 3. That's exactly how it's setting up. Either as a short under today's low, which I don't like that much, or as a long on the hourly base breakout. This is a low odds, high R to R trade, high reward to risk, but low odd trade. Long right here, stop right here. A lot of times I look at the big gaps to fade, to play long when they break out. So this one broke out off the low, so I couldn't do it, but now has a 1, 2, 3. I don't know if I'll do it or not. I'll check I'll plug in the entry, the stop, the target, and see if it has enough room. Hey, I see a couple questions. The LMT. Let me just finish, and I'll get right back to you. Okay. VTR is like a 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have the initial pop and then a couple of doji bars. So VTR as a long. Don't like it that much. Don't like that much. And then WELL is oil, I believe. Is this oil? I think it's oil. Is a 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks higher to like 85, 87. It looks better to me. TR. So this looks okay. Over the SPARS high, stop under it. I think looks okay. Yeah, looks okay. Probably not going to do it. And then Walmart of all companies is very, very bullish also. Check out the Walmart all-time high. All-time high. Never a doubt when it comes to Walmart. But I got Costco. I'm betting on Costco. Never a doubt when it comes to Walmart or Costco. So we'll see. So these are what I would call the favorite watches for tomorrow. And from these plays, from this watch list, I will end up picking a couple or a handful of plays for tomorrow. So I'll start to work on. I usually work on this table. I'm already working on it. See, I'm already working on it for tomorrow. I'm working on the table, and then you will get sent this table as a newsletter tomorrow morning. But as a member, as a subscriber, you can also access from your T3 Live account. Okay. All right. Some questions here. So LMT monthly thoughts. Buy setup possible. I mean, this is not a very good pattern at all on the LMT. Look what happened a few days ago. It broke out and then it got slammed. Is that really what we want to buy? Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. Simply because it's at the right location on the monthly chart, I don't think so. There's a lot better stuff with much more momentum, much better alignment across the multiple time frames than something like the LMT. I don't like the LMT. I like the location on the monthly. What is a 1, 2, 3 setup? So I've done a few videos on it on YouTube. They're on YouTube for free, but I don't have the exact. I don't have the. I'll look it up for you and give you one of the link to one of the videos at least about what the 1, 2, 3 pattern is. Okay. Here's the short version. This is the, if you want the 1, 2, 3 in 2 minutes. Oops, hold on. This would be it in just a couple minutes, I think. And I use it for day trading, I use it for swing trading, I use it for everything. Here's the long version. This is the long version of what the 1, 2, 3 pattern is. Basically, we're looking at mostly a base breakout, but if you miss the base breakout, you can join in, you can hop on that moving train if the stock puts in a narrow range bar after the initial breakout bar, and do it as a 1, 2, 3. So bar 1 would be the breakout bar, bar 2 would be the resting narrow range bar, and bar 3 would be the trigger bar. If you have 2 doji bars, then that's called the 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern. But again, I gave you a couple links for it. If you're really interested, you will watch those videos. Okay. All right. Let's see. Amazon is like, looks lower. I don't know. Amazon has been very, very bullish. We had a call on it, and it just got to target at 130 recently. But it's I don't know. Amazon is like similar to the market in that it's been really bullish, but I feel like it wants to drop a little bit. Let's take a look at the hourly chart. Yeah, look at the hourly chart. So Amazon, you know, what about it that you like? I like the uptrend, but I think it may be due for a pullback. So I don't like it. What about Match? Yeah, Match is a buy setup. I have a backup watch list that I will upload to the news to the shared Google sheet that we share. So this is on there, but it's too deep of a pullback, too strong, too deep of a pullback. The hourly chart is not lined up also, and for that reason I don't like it that much. But Match, NVAX also deep pullback. I don't think it's gonna work. Redfin, Open actually triggered already today. So I have a few symbols on my list that I'm not gonna go over tonight because it will run out of time. But Match is one of them. Okay. So I like it, but I don't think it's ready based on the hourly chart, based on the fact that it came in very hard. BYND, it's too sloppy. It's just what is good about it other than the location? That's the only thing that I think is good about it. Way too sloppy. Look at the tails. The hourly chart is not lined up, doesn't look good. Tree, I don't know what it looks like. Okay, Tree is very, very bullish, too extended and no pattern. Start with the daily. What's the pattern? Don't see it. I don't see a pattern. And then the RETL, I'll take a look. RETL is the best of the the best of the bunch. But also, what's the pattern exactly? It's just you're playing the uptrend, which is okay. It's like a buy setup. Not very high quality, but looks okay. It's a tight uptrend at least. But yeah, none of these would be something I would play a swing or I would call swing. But if I had to pick one, it'd be the RETL, which is, I guess, the triple leveraged retail ETF. Thanks, Leon. In general, do you make more R's from swing trading or day trading? It depends. Some years, day trading, some years swing trading. This year, by far, swing trading, by far. Okay, Haley's been very bullish. I regret not getting it, but I feel like it's too far gone. There were multiple entries on the HLLY, but I never pulled the trigger. Over here, on the 1, 2, 3, and on the buy setup. I mean, there's so many entries on it, and I never pulled the trigger on it, and it's gone. I don't see a setup up here, right? I don't see a setup up here. It's too big of a move. But if you're in it, looks amazing. I would just put my stop at 517. If you're already in it and looks higher, looks higher to like $12. Again, I regret not doing it. I'm aware of it. I see it all the time, but it's gone for now, for me at least. It's gone, but beautiful if you're in it. Would you please explain the 1, 2, 3 pattern? I just gave you the links for that. I already explained it a little bit, and I just gave you a couple of links. One, just a 2.5 minute video. Did I post it? Yeah, I did. And one was is 17-minute long, 17-minute video. So okay. Yeah, okay, good. I am glad you're in it because this looks lovely. Good job. What else? Oh, no problem. Happy to help. Happy to answer questions. That's my job. Let me know, guys. I am done. As far as I'm concerned, I'm done. And so next thing I'm going to do is copy these symbols and put them in the table, and then figure out the entries, the stops, the targets, and see which ones I like the most. So the PCG, Rivian, PCG already have the orders in the system because they were from last night. Okay, so those are kind of the favorite ideas for tomorrow. I wish I had more. I wish I had some shorts, but there are no shorts that I like. Wish I had some shorts for tomorrow because I think the market might come in. Might. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed today's session, and I will talk to you tomorrow morning. Terry, do you recommend using separate progression tables for R increase for swing and day trades? Yes, because they're completely two separate strategies. So you wanna increase as you see fit based on the strategy and your performance of that strategy. Does that make sense? So I that's why I totally recommend completely separate accounts, separate everything. Let's see, how do you scan for your trades and what do you use? Don, I scan using the TC2000 program. TC2000 app. That's how I scan. Now, what I look for and how I do it. There's a
Actually,
video
we're
on
on
it because
YouTube.
these
Go
questions,
live on
I love
Facebook.
these questions,
Give me
but
1 second.
each one of them is like it would take me an hour to explain. So I've done two videos on how I use TC2000. Let me look them up for you. See if I can find them. They should be here, but I don't see them in my playlist. Don't see them
And
at the moment.
we should be live
okay.
on
No, I
Facebook.
don't see
Hi,
them.
everybody. Welcome to this week's lesson.
Let's
I'm
see.
Sami Abu Saad. I'm Director of
But I've
Education
done
at TC.
two videos. I know two videos. Part one,
Be
part
live.
two.
And
On
a
how
professional
I
trader like
use
some of you are.
TC2000, basically
we're
for
going to
finding
get
these
started
swing
with,
and long-term
I think
ideas.
this is the first
But I
weekly
don't
lesson
see
that
them
we're
from this
doing
list that I
in the
have.
New Year. So happy New
List
Year,
of
everybody.
videos.
I do these lessons every Tuesday.
Don't see them. If anybody knows has
Yeah,
the
after we
links,
finish with the coaching.
don't see them.
So today I think. is
So
the first
basically,
one.
I'm in short, because
Take some
that
time
again,
off
it
for the
would take
holidays.
2
I hope
hours.
you did as
Oh,
well.
maybe T3 might
And
have
we're
taken
back
down
into
some of
thick
the
of it now.
the
So today's
videos. I
lesson is
know
gonna
they
be
have
about
because I was
the
giving
top,
too much
number
part
one
of the course.
trading
Okay,
pattern,
here's one. Thanks, Steve.
For the open.
Thanks,
Now,
Steve.
this pattern is useful.
There's
not
part
just
one,
for
part
the
two,
open.
but
I use it for swing
sometimes
trading. use it
I
for
was
trading
teaching
the
way too
afternoon.
much, and
All
so
kinds
they
of-
took
all kinds of things, all
they
kinds of
took down
time
some of the
But it's
the
also my
videos.
number one.
But honestly, the
pattern in the
videos
open.
I was doing them for the
Majority,
room.
Okay.
As part of the
So here we
coaching,
go.
and I was
It's called the
broadcasting some
1,
of
2,
those
3
videos
continuation
to
trade.
YouTube.
Actually, before
So
I
that's what got
get
taken
started,
down.
before I go
T3 has
over,
never taken down
I
any
need to
video
tell
that
you
I've done
that,
for
I need
YouTube
to
exclusively.
share with you
That would be
the
like
standard
undoing my work,
required
and I would not have
disclaimer.
been happy about it.
Is that
But
it?
some of the
Yeah,
videos that
that's
I've
it.
done
That's a
for the
disclaimer.
coaching room,
To
that
let you know that
for
trading
the
is
strategic
risky,
day trader
that whatever
members
we
that I
discussed
also
today is for
broadcasted
educational
to
purposes only.
YouTube were
While
taken
you
down.
read that,
Uh,
while you kind of
For swing,
review
do you
that,
recommend
make
a
sure you
monthly
agree
target
that,
instead of a
that
weekly
whatever
target
we
for
discussed
progression
today is
tables?
not a recommendation.
Let's
It's
see,
just for
as day
educational
trades,
purposes only.
I'm sorry,
Let me please
for
tell you-
swing, do you
allow me
recommend a
to
monthly
please tell you
target
that
instead of a weekly
if
target
you
for
check the
progression
link in the
tables,
description
as
if you'd
day
like to
trades
attend
take
the
a
free
bit
webinar
bit
tomorrow.
as trades
So
take a
check
bit
the
longer.
link in the
For
description below.
swing
Alright?
trades,
With that
yes, I don't
out of
recommend
the way,
I don't
go
use
ahead
weekly or
and
monthly.
get
I
started.
use
So, I
a
wanna go
sample.
over the
I use a
setup
batch of
first.
trades.
So
So
here's the setup.
after
I wanna
putting
go over the
on
setup,
20 trades,
the
what's the
action
result?
steps. I wanna
After
show you
putting on
some
30
symbols,
trades, the more
some
active you are,
examples.
the
And
larger
if
the
you have any
sample size
questions,
has
type
to
them
be.
in the comments
So that's how I
and
do
I
it. I
can
don't do
answer
it
them
based on
later on. Feel free to also share with
weekly or
us
monthly
what
results.
your favorite pattern
So
is,
okay.
what you like to do.
All
at
right,
home
Terry.
in the
Good
comments
stuff.
below. All right.
Okay, everybody.
And if
Again,
you
thank you
find
so
benefit
much
in
for
today's
being here.
video,
I'll see you all
hit
in the
the like
morning.
button. I'd
Hopefully, I'll
appreciate
still
that.
have my voice,
Only because
talking
not
too
because I'm
much.
trying to,
But
you know,
again,
inflate my
hopefully,
ego or
I'll
make
see you all in the
myself
morning.
feel
Have a
only
great
because it
evening,
actually helps
and we'll talk to you in the
with
morning. Take care.
video, with, like,
Good night.
Google algos pick it up. All right, when people hit the like button. So that's the only reason. So if you find benefit, please